No, this is the script that we are using to generate over $100,000 per month for client flow, and all our clients are using this. I'm giving it away for free. You can download it from the description, but important than that, you have to understand the science behind how we do it and what strategies we're using along with this. And once you understand this whole concept, this will make sense and you will achieve the same revenue targets. And so the main concept for the script is simple. I've divided into different phases. If you can see there are different stages, the stage one is 5 minutes. Then we have stage two, which is 10 to 15 minutes. And then we have stage three, which is 5 to 6 minutes again. And then we have stage four, which is 5 to 10 minutes. And so, what is actually happening in these stages? Because sale call needs to be designed in a way that strategically leads to a decision. Like your client shouldn't feel that you are selling something on them, right? Like no one likes to be sold, and we understand this concept. But once we are on a sales call, we really try to just make things really weird, right? And we don't know how to start a sales call, and everything is weird. So the client don't trust you, right? They don't trust you because you can't even handle a single conversation. And so when you are master and you understand your whole nature of how you will proceed with conversation, client feel safe because they know they're in safe hands and they will reach a conclusion easily, right? And so in the first phase, what we do is we have a pre-call rituals. Before going to the call, we have certain steps that we need to follow. Like shouldn't be distracted. We should have everything check in already, like internet connection, like where you are, and is there any noise in the background. And so all of these things are really important for a productive sales call. And after that, if for example you have prepared everything and you're ready for the sales call, but some client didn't show up, right? The lead were not qualified or the appointment were not based on solid, genuine reasons, and the person didn't show up, then what you do is you have to have a follow-up sequence and you follow up the person. You wait for at least 10 to 15 minutes. And if, for example, the person doesn't show up, then what should be your next criteria? And then we have starting off the call, how you set the intention, right? You should take the leads in the first 5 minutes. And if you let the person take the lead, like the client asks, mostly what happens is people just let the client or the prospect take the lead. They ask questions and then you're in defensive mode, you're explaining the thing. That's not a sales call, right? It's just a random discussion, and you are not going to close anyone because you have given your control to that person, and he is going to uh, drive the conversation in their own direction. So the power actually lies in questions, and the driving of conversation flow is in the question. So the more questions you ask, because you have designed strategically in the script, you'll find out there are questions that are strategically designed based on psychology. We understand that you can't actually give two different scenarios to a client in the conversation because when you confuse them, they have like in the hippocampus or in the processing unit in the brain, they can't decide on multiple things. So you shouldn't be offering them one offer and then the second and the third, right? You just blow off things because they feel overwhelmed. You should be strategically going ahead with a single offer so they can decide easily, and their head has low processing power in those processes. And so that's why all these factors combined actually give you a leverage. So setting the intention is really the key. And once you do that the right way, the whole call goes smoothly. And in this intention, you have to set the agenda, like what you do in this call, like what will you explain in this call and what the client can expect from it. Right? In the script, it is clearly mentioned. Then we come to the current state of a client. Like we really want to know the client, what the person is doing. Maybe you have a previous discussion, but this is the opportunity. The person is on the call, and this is the right time that he or she tell you exactly what they feel, where they are, and what you need to do to actually bring them to their desired state. So for understanding the current state, we have some questions that are obviously in the script, and then we really want to also understand how they feel and where they want to go, right, in the next 6 months or 12 months. And so when you idealize that situation, and so we are talking about we're talking a sales call, right? We really want to make them feel that situation where they have to be in a state where they have that particular income that they're desiring for, the particular experience in life. And I'll be also sharing a closer framework where I have clearly explained how you have to sell the vacation, right? And by selling a vacation, we mean that you don't just talk about money, right? You also talk about the experience associated with it. Like, for example, someone has a family, they will have more freedom. And so, what are the things that are being derived from there, right? So, all these things combined actually, you actually make the person feel the moments. And this has happened and the desire and diagnosis stages, right? And then we have the solution introduction. And so once you understand the current and desire state, and then you diagnose further, ask questions, and let the person explore, just let their thoughts flow. And when they're in flow, what happens, they are giving you signals and cues, and you should be smart enough to spot each and every cue, and you write it down. So they will give you figures like they're doing this much revenue this month and this much clients they have. And so all of these things combined actually give you a more clear picture. But you could listen, and you could listen 90% of the time. And when you're speaking, you could be asking questions. So these are the fundamental principles. And once, for example, you have clarified the position, the current and desired state, then you introduce the solution. And for introduction, you also have to ask from the person if they allow to share your screen or to share your solutions. Then you have the social proof, right? So once you are taking the offer, and it shouldn't take more than 2 minutes, your existing offer, and you shouldn't be explaining it really like in a lengthy process. It should be really in a bit of a vague format, means that like from a top-down approach, so the person don't exactly understand the whole process, because you are going to trigger the wrong button, so which is like the process driven button. And so they will be asking questions for in the process, and then they will direct the conversation in that category. So we shouldn't be doing that. We should be focusing the conversation on the outcome, right? We are playing with the emotions. We are trying to convert the person in a right way for their good. So the questions and everything should be on the outcome or the experience, not on the process. So you should explain the process really quickly in 2 minutes, and then bake it up by social proof, any social proof that you have. Then you have to have a proper mechanism, right? And also you randomly temperature check, and then you should have a objection handling experience. Some people come with like a money objection handling, and the other is like a relationship, and then we have time. So these are the three main categories of objection, and it depends on you how you handle that. But we in the script have comprehensively handled that. And once you get access to the script, you will realize what I mean by that. We have like covered every objection. If you just come here into the objection category, you'll find out this is a whole linking approach, right? And so from start to to finish, I have given like each step, and we have actually started adding objections as the team were, getting new type of objections, and then we added, and then we find out solution based on the data of how to resolve it. And you are getting access to all of this, right? It's like an unending thing, like a spouse partner objection or the financial objections. All of this you're getting for free. So this is like a gift from my side for supporting the channel. Obviously, you're watching the content. But in the script, if I just walk you quickly, it's the same. Like I have given you the concept, the science of how we do it. Um, but it's like the qualification questions that you have, right? I won't be going through all. You can obviously read that, and then you have it. If you have got questions, you can ask in comments. But in the current state, you want to ask about like what are their company size, who do you help them, like what's their offer, how they price that, what's their team, what like what is actually the main issue, the bottleneck. You should find out why they aren't able to do it themselves, right? And because there should be like some three reasons. One is that they can't do it themselves, other is time, and then they might have like expertise issues, right? And so these three are the main reasons you need them to say it themselves. And once they say it, they release the pressure, and now it's on you how you handle that. And so mostly they will have a combination of that. You have to spot that once. And let me tell you, you can only do all of this by doing more practice. So the more practice and the more calls you have, the more you will master the script. And you can't use the whole script for your own agency or coaching or consulting business. You have to make it customized for your own agency. And this is really a combination of everything. We have like some certain questions that we don't ask for a particular client because of their nature or their previous experience or their niche or something. So you have to assign or customize everything based on that. And the future state, these are the questions like where do you want to take the business in the next 3 months or 12 months, as I said. And so how many leads you will be generating. And so we really want them to feel that state. Like it's not about just questions. We are diagnosing. And if you went for a doctor, what they do is they're not selling anything, right? They're just asking you questions, right? And so they are actually diagnosing you based on the symptoms, right? And so the business has some symptoms and you are diagnosing it. And so you are intensifying the situation so it create urgency and they take action promptly in the sales call. That's like an ideal situation. And if you get master in this time to time, when you record the sales call and then you listen to it and you analyze it on each parameter, that's how you get improved in this. And so, in the sales call, you find problems and then you do objection handling. You acknowledge the person, you let the person have big dreams. If they are aiming too low, you have to support them. And there are a lot of other practical step-by-step conversation that we have also included in here. And in the pricing category, you shouldn't be telling the price beforehand. You should have to have this thing established in your mind. You won't have to tell the price unless and until the client or the prospect ask for it, right? So once they ask for the price, like how much is it charging, only then you can tell the price. And you can also tell them in a really unique way, or maybe the most effective way that we are using is like an anchoring approach. So what I mean by that is, for example, you have an offer which is like $5,000, and so you actually create a big barrier, like a big offer, like you give them a scenario where the same thing is actually costing more than $10,000, and then you break down each of the process and you make your own offer so small that the person just feel it's a piece of cake, right? Let's just take it. So that's the scenario. Obviously, it's a concept that I've explained in here more in depth. And once you get access to it, you'll have everything in this. So yeah, I think that was it. I've linked the script in the description. And yeah, one thing I forgot is this closer framework. Alex Ramosi and all these people, they're using it. And so what it do is that the simplest approach is closer framework. If you don't want to do complex questions, just simply follow this framework. C means clarify, like you clarify what the client actually needs, the challenges and everything. So that clarification is really essential. You shouldn't be talking randomly, right? And then you listen actively to the prospect, as we mentioned. They'll be giving you the cues. And then you present the solution as like an overview. Then you secure, like address any objections they have firsthand before taking the offer, and then you engage with the prospect, asking for their commitment and everything. Then you review, right? And then obviously they pay, and you try to get the sales done in the first call. That will be like ideal situation. So that was it. I hope you got some value. I'll link the script in the description. If you got some value from this video, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. I really feel that 80% of people who watch the video are not subscribing. So subscribe to the channel and make sure that you keep watching the content. If you have any questions, definitely ask in comment. I really love to answer your questions. I've also linked the community a link in the description. You can find that out and ask questions directly from me from there. So see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.